Hello and welcome to the Binge Thinker for another week. My name is Jamil Raymond. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here as always. I'm sick, folks. I don't know if you can kind of hear me a little bit stuffy at the moment, but this weekend has basically been a complete write-off of just being sick. It's flu season, baby. We are in the depths of winter here in Melbourne. It has been the winter solstice on Friday of the week just been, makes it the shortest day of the year, which has meant it's been its coldest and its darkest. Flu season is in full effect. I believe I picked up something from Jambo running the gig last week. I'm not too sure. But apparently there's a massive wave of flu and sickness going around. Fair enough. I think that's going to be happening. It's probably subvariants and mutations of COVID and things like that going around, as well as just the usual influenza season. I wonder, maybe I'll Google that quickly or ChatGPT that in a sec. What causes influenza to show up in the winter? That's a great question, actually. But so whilst I do that and try and attempt to multitask here, that's probably a terrible idea because I don't have enough brain cells. This is going to be a short pod, folks, because I don't have a lot of gas in the tank. We'll get to it in a sec. What causes influenza to increase in winter? Isn't it like, I think there is this early stage adaptation that you can literally ask ChatGPT all of your dumb Google questions now. And that's kind of the problem. That's the existential threat that Google has at the moment, is that as behaviors change, as the primary behavior of Googling things is now being disrupted by ChatGPT, there is a big issue there for them, because are we going to just say, just Google it? Or am I ChatGPT it? Right? Now, Google, phonetically, if we compare Google to ChatGPT it, Google wins still phonetically. You could say GPT it. I think that would be it, the GPT it. Just phonetically, it rolls off the tongue, right? It's just, it's easier to come off. It's got a nice, especially when you're trying to retort, right? When you do a joke, you do an insult, it's very important to get the phonetic flow of it out, right? The syllables have to come out. It's like, for example, the word fuck is such a great word phonetically. I think we've talked about this in the pod, but it doesn't matter. Fuck. The hard K is funny, right? So go fuck yourself. Funny in a way, right? Just Google it. Just GPT it. Yeah, the GPT will win. So that'll take over the zeitgeist element of it. And the Googling part, the behavioral change of checking ChatGPT instead of Google, will also be interesting as well. And it makes me wonder if GPT sort of just sticks in front, because it does provide its sources now. So if you do use GPT as your first point of contact to get information and detailed information, which it does compared to Google, without necessarily all the ads and the bullshit that they try and pack around your screen to try and make money. That's where Google's made its money for years, is through advertising in search. Then you could really displace Google. That's already been said in AI circles. I'm going to do a lot more AI content in the near future, because I've found some very interesting stuff about basically how fucked we are as a civilization if you don't get your shit together when it comes to AI and learn how to adapt to it. Man, I'm sober and I just lost my train of thought about AI and why that's important, but blah, blah, blah. Changing the behaviors around Google being disrupted by ChatGPT, because there is more data available to you because you pay for the GPT service usually, and it gives you just the relevant data because it doesn't make money it's already made money from you. It doesn't need to sell advertising space, hopefully, ideally. Sam Altman, motherfucker, pay attention. Doesn't need to say, this answer was brought to you by Pfizer. Get your 15th booster right now. You know what I mean? So it just hopefully should give you some facts and some truth. And then you'd be like, oh, GPT, what's the truth? What's the truth about ChatGPT? What's the truth about Google? Google, if it doesn't exist on the first page of Google, it doesn't exist on the internet, basically, unless it's porn, right? So there's always been a huge cognitive bias of information, no matter what frame of the internet you listen through or consume it through, right? So, it's funny. They're like, oh, I'm so concerned about ChatGPT's bias about the information about where it gets it from. Well, guess what, motherfucker? The information that you usually get from Google has been sold by the highest bidder and been pushed there. So you're just moving from one bias to the next. Excuse me, just getting some vitamin C. Okay, so what causes influenza to increase in winter? Influenza tends to increase in winter due to several factors: cold weather. The flu virus survives and spreads more easily in cold, dry air, which is more common in winter. Well, that explains fucking Melbourne getting flu. It's cold and dry as shit, son. Indoor crowding, so that's close proximity. Weaker immune systems. Colder temperatures and less exposure to sunlight weaken the immune system, making individuals more susceptible to infections. Well, that's why I'm getting the fuck out of here and getting some sun, son, because I feel that. And then low humidity can dry out the mucous membranes in the respiratory tract, reducing the ability to trap and expel viruses. So because it's cold and dry as shit here in Melbourne, and I feel that, that's why we get rampant flu seasons. Man, can't wait to go to Thailand and get me some jungle fever instead. Yes. I tell you what, nothing shines through more than this quote when you are sick. A healthy man wants 1,000 things. A sick man wants just one thing. That one thing being health. And yeah, man, it really, the fact that you really do, particularly now post-COVID where everyone's so pedantic about health and wellness and not wanting to spread things around, and people are a lot more sensitive about the fact that we can just transmit viruses to each other. It really is extremely isolating, and it really just makes you really have no choice in life but to just do nothing but fill your body with nutrients and heal and just sit there and do nothing, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Of course, we have to get our fucking health back, like Jesus fucking Christ. But, for someone like myself, I got sick Thursday. I just woke up and I woke up Thursday, I was like, feeling all right, just the usual day. And then within 10 minutes of getting up, I was just brushing my teeth, and I'm like, I felt something in my throat, and I'm like, oh no, I know that, I'm going to be sick. And then within the next half an hour, I could just feel the shivers and the weakness coming on, and I'm like, fuck. And then, I felt the slow drag down, and I was like, I have to finish this work and this lecture, and I let the guys know that I might be sick, and I'm holding on and just doing what I can. And then, Thursday, finished my lecture slides, got them all done. Friday, just did nothing. Thursday night, I just stayed in bed, just chilled the fuck out, just stayed in bed and just relaxed. Friday, did nothing beforehand, did the lecture, rested after that. Saturday, Sunday, just in that sick, frail feeling. You're just there going, and you just fucking, what is life? And how do I even exist beyond this? And you go just through that fucking spiral of sickness where you're like, man, is this what cancer feels like? Is this what feeling terminally ill feels like? Just this constant ache and weakness and sadness. And you're like, fuck, give me some fucking morphine. Or, you know what? How can you, if this is my life, if this was, when you get sick, if this is me for the rest of my life, where is my voluntary euthanasia? Where is my right to die? Can I have that? I'm pretty sure they have that here in at least Victoria. I'm not sure if it's Australia. I remember there's a comedian, I forgot his name now. Andrew Denton, great Australian comedian and interviewer, had a series about the right to die because I think one of his parents was terminally ill and basically wanted them to die, or they wanted to die peacefully. It's so funny that we don't have the right to die. Like that's so stupid. Like that's some old school Christian, all lives are sacred unless you are black shit. that was a heavy hit. But it's true. Excuse me. At least I coughed away from the mic. Yeah, it's so strange that we don't have the right to die, to kill ourselves. Like somehow it's going to be frowned upon. Like, I mean, in a way where you're just like, if you're playing, junk time in your own life, like you've got cancer and you are suffering, and it's not like you are just the doctors, you are done, and you're in palliative care. You're just like, this sucks. Jack me up with morphine. Get me the fuck out of here, son. Get me into the next realm. It's like, I think similarly, if I was losing my mind, if I was starting to lose my faculties and I knew that it was happening, I think there would have to be a certain point where you just be like, all right, I allow you guys to fucking off the switch on me, right? Just, if I've got nothing going, if I can't look after myself, just knock it off, knock me off, right? Like, I think that's part of the problem that we've got in society, is that we hold on to life that we don't appreciate or acknowledge the equality of. Like, we're just like, we must keep it at all costs. And I'm sure there are plenty of people that are just waiting for the clock to run out, right? Like, if I'm not here mentally and I'm just the shell of a human being, if the soul's gone in any way, or the mind's gone, the spirit's gone, well then I'm just you're just weekend and burnings, me, just sort of like propped up with some cool sunglasses, hopefully. End it. Like, I have an uncle who is unfortunately, he's got a dementia, and he's got advanced dementia. And, yeah, like, he's there, but, he doesn't remember most of us. Yeah, he doesn't remember most of his family. He needs to be cared for constantly, and he's not the man he used to be. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame. And I don't think he's at a point where I'd be like, flip the switch on him personally. This sounds really fucking dark, but it's true. But there's got to be a point where you're just like too much of a burden on the family around you, right? Like, sure, you might have been the head of the family, and he is or was. And, he looked after so many people. And yes, it's absolutely beautiful that the family wants to tip in and reach it and look after him. But, yeah, there's just a point where it's like there's too much of a burden for who that person was. And if that person had the clarity of mind, I'm sure they would not want to be a burden on the family that they love. Right? I think it's a two-sided street. I don't think it's necessarily a degree of selfishness. I think there is a degree of yourself where you want your family, your loved ones, to live a full and happy life past you, because you're already gone, right? So, yeah. Yeah, fuck, that got real existential just because I was sick and I'm recovering. And it's so funny. I've only been in those spirits. I was only in those spirits for like minutes over the weekend. Like, just there's periods of time where you're just like, you're sitting there, you're just like shivering, and you're like, oh, is this life? This is the depths of hell. Hell is on earth. While you're shivering and you're cold and you're frail and you can't even fucking move. And then every cough hurts. And you're like, what what is these? What are these tiny fucking microscopic things doing in my body to ravage me like this? To turn me into this little, frail, shivery wreck of a human being. How can these tiny little things do this to us? And it's so funny. It's like, I'm getting increasingly more into, I wouldn't say esoteric stuff, but there is some things like cymatics, and cymatics is the study of vibrations and sound, and how they affect things at a molecular level. It's like basically all of the devil is really in the details. It's in the minutia of life. It's not in these large scale things that exist around us. All these large scale things that exist around us, can be constructed down to the bare minimums, the fundamentals of it at an atomic level, which is influenced by chemistry and all these sorts of things. Like, the fact that milligrams of something, you could take a tiny fucking pill like I do right now. I take a tiny pill, probably like a quarter of the size of your pinky nail. Very, very small. And that does affect how I feel, right? You think of a blotter of acid. You think of a little square of acid. This tiny square is going to do something to me, and it can completely change your life, right? The life really is in the minutia of things, in the tiny, tiny things, not these big, outrageous, lavish things. It's all about the little things. Actually, the most important things are the things that you can't even see at all, right? It's things like feelings. You never see feelings. You never see your feelings. You express your feelings, but emotions really are the underlying driver of people in society and humanity. It's like you don't buy things, right? You buy the feeling of things. I learned that a little while ago, but I actually watched an interesting video by Tony Robbins today, going through a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole I was designing some content today. And, just went to like a little bit of a sales content rabbit hole. And he gave me this fantastic reminder of, people don't buy feelings. People don't buy things. They buy feelings. They buy you buy you buy the jet, right? You buy the Rolex, you buy the Tesla for the feeling of status, for the feeling of importance, right? For what it represents to other people and what it represents to you. You never buy the thing itself. The thing is correlated to a feeling that you have, right? So, like, when you understand that about people, you really are just architecting in sales the correct blend of emotions, of trust, of security, of status, alongside the technological elements of what the solution is, right? That's the engineer's job. The emotional engineering, that's my job. Building the trusted relationship, showing that we are aligned, as people, as capabilities, etc., etc. So, yeah, it's just an interesting stark reminder that I still have to reapply to Tech Sales Academy. I'm glad that I finished my lecture series last week. When it fizzled, it fizzled out a little bit. I thought it was going to be a great big finish, but there was an issue with the scheduling of the session. So I was prepared, but the support team around Main Sequence, they did not put the reminder in the calendar for the last session for the team, for the founders. So only one person showed up. So I just filmed it. I just recorded it live to the guys at Main Sequence and to this one dude, and that'll go up to them, which is a shame because I was connecting with a few of those guys, and it would be a shame to just leave a digital package behind. And admittedly, it wasn't my sharpest lecture because I was sick, but they knew that and they understood that. But all the information I provided was very useful nonetheless. But now, yeah, it's this vast open space for me to work on building Tech Sales Academy. I've got all these visions, got all these ideas. The version 2 is going to look great. I'm very excited for where it goes. I still need to secure a bit more money But I've got some two hot coaching opportunities that will bring in some good coin. I think I talked about that last week. I'm sure I did. So I could be right now sitting anywhere. Like I've got about up to $40,000 a month in potential pipeline that could be in my pocket in the next couple of months. So, now the next few weeks, the next month is tedious, to say the least, about this point where now I'm still burning money, still hoping for those deals to come in. I have to sell everything in my house because I am going to get out of here probably July 28th, so just over a month away, which is kind of scary. And get the fuck out of here for a while. And just fucking bet it all, right? I've said this before. I'm going to do it again. If you want to take the island, you got to burn the boats. If you want to go all in, you got to go all fucking in, baby. And that's what we'll be doing. That is what we shall be doing. Didn't really have too much else for you besides that, but I do have a couple of interesting, I thought, pretty funny articles actually. I wanted to, diversify the content here a little bit and give it a bit more attention now that I've got less on my plate. Give me a sec. Micronutrients. So, read this absolute scorcher of a fucking article today about biological parents and sperm donors. Listen to this. There is this. Sorry, excuse me. So there's this dude. There's this lady. Sorry, this lady, Catherine Dawson, publicly named. So I'm not shaming her. There's this woman. She was a test tube baby. So she was an IVF baby. Didn't know who the father was. Got it tested. Right. Not a big deal. She found a half sister that was one of her half sisters. To see if there's any donor. Sorry, fucking hell. So sperm donor. She did some research on the father. She wanted to find out who the dad was. So she did some research from the agency. Did a little bit of research. Apparently, she bumped into a lady once that looked a lot like her, but I think they were in a mixer for other IVF babies to sort of mingle and connect, with other seekers of their parents and sort of just be part of that network and be like, so what's IVF? What's been a test tube baby been for you and upgrade, just having a community of people that understand where you're coming from, et cetera, et cetera. So, she goes to the conference and they said they look so familiar, but their donor codes, which is a specific code given to the anonymous donor, right? So they codify the donor's name. So just to give them sort of understanding who gave the jizz, right? And they, so they went their own ways. So must be a coincidence because surely the clinic's doing its job, right? Then she goes and uploads her DNA to an ancestry website and begins to find some matches, right? The first match that this ancestry website gives her is the same woman that she had met at the conference, and genetically and through the DNA, they were actually half sisters. So their little hunch was right. But all three women, so they were like, they are half sisters. And then another half sister came a year later. So there's three of these ladies now, right? But they've got three different donor codes. So according to this agency, the sperm bank, they're three different fathers, but all of their DNA is the same. Interesting. So then they go to the IVF clinic, and then they look through the details, and it looks like due to poor vetting practices, this IVF clinic, Melbourne IVF, allowed this single dude to donate for at least 6 years between 1983 and 1989 using different names. He used fake names and he went to 6 clinics and 4 hospitals. So this dude, there's an estimate now based on how prolific this guy was that he might have fathered up to 700 siblings. This guy has jerked off so much between 83 and 89 that he was able to rig the system and their poor, shitty fucking carding system and their document management system, which would have been paper-based probably back in 83 to 89. Computers almost non-existent, right? And this guy's just jizzed in so many fucking cups during the 80s that he's potentially have sired 700 different fucking kids. And she has found so far 56 of them between Victoria, South Australia, Queensland, the ACT, and overseas. Man, that is so fucking funny, man. And even, like, I feel so bad for this dude because this is a pre-internet time. This guy had no fucking idea that he was going to karmically have this come full circle. It's 1985 and he's jerking into a cup using fucking analog technology. No idea, no concept of the internet. And then, like 30-something years later, he's like, yeah, I'm getting away with this. And they said, this guy, how much do they make a pop? This guy's jerking off for like $10 a pop. This guy, yeah, it's like $10 as a donation. Here it is. Donors in the 1970s and 1980s could be paid $10 per donation and donate multiple times. Oh, $10. I mean, so let's just let's do some fucking math here. I think you can use one load multiple times. So if he's had 700, hang on, they've got an appendix here. He's got one of those fucking FBI mind maps on the article. This is from a news, and it's ABC News article. Wow. It's like siblings from all codes. So hang on. Here it goes. Here's the article. Today, it's illegal to pay a donor, but they can be reimbursed for expenses such as travel, and they are usually only legally allowed to create up to 5 or 10 families, depending on the state. Now, Catherine, one of the original test tube baby, she goes, I think that there was 7 names, including his own, says Catherine of Rodona father. Then if you go to 10 different clinics and hospitals, like he said he did, I estimate that there could be up to 700 siblings. This guy is the Genghis Khan of Australia. This is great. But imagine this guy, like, thank fuck there's like laws and regulations to go, you can't claim childcare on this shit, but he, in 85, 86, would have thought he was fucking a big dog. And then these guys are basically coming out of the multiverse. Like, just imagine just jerking off in 1986 and then one of them comes back through a time fucking traveling thing and just opens up a portal and just goes, don't do it. Or like, you can't say don't do it, then they'd all be gone. Or at least they would eliminate a whole bunch of them. But then just potentially having all of your roosters come to roost all at once, all 700 of them, and going, hey, hello? Oh, fuck, just having this line of people outside your front door, some sort of fucking rally of people that look like you. Oh my God. It's like on The Simpsons when they had that Simpson family reunion and they're all like fucking morons. And 2 of them are like fighting with the saucepans on their head and they're just running into each other. Holy shit. This guy was clearly a bonehead in the 80s as well. Some dipshit. It wouldn't be surprised me if he's some fucking beach bum surfer dude. Clearly, if you have the want to rig the sperm game system in your favor, you've got to be a certain degree a piece of shit. And you've just compounded your dirtbagness. Fucking 700-fold. Holy fuck. Oh man, that's got to be so brutal. And like, does he feel bad about it? Or is he just like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, look at my fucking strong swimmers. You got to respect the fact that that guy has got some fucking lethal sperm, right? Because, I mean, realistically, jerking off, so if you can donate 10 times, they said, oh, hang on, I'm just trying to get, how many times would he have had to jerk off? I think I sort of asked that question before. But it says create 5 or 10 families. I don't know how much sperm that requires. Like, do they give you the full load in the turkey baster, or do they just have to give you a little sample? Because there's there's hundreds of millions of sperm in one load. But also, like, yeah, that's the thing is, like, out of those hundreds of millions of sperm that are in there, right? It's only the one that makes it. But just because there's like second and third place sperm, still pretty good sperm, right? And who's to say that the first one that got in was necessarily the best of that load? Maybe it just got real lucky, you know? Maybe, it just it got to the egg first, right? Maybe, there's just so many options there that I cannot really think of right now because I'm running out of brain cells. But holy fuck, this guy, what a G. This guy is the white Bob Marley. Probably, it would not surprise me if this guy had dreadlocks at some point either. This guy definitely had, high chance this guy's a white dude with dreadlocks in the 80s. One of the first fucking wankers. But that's so, imagine this poor girl to go like, oh, my father, thank you for, I appreciate the life and I would love to connect with you, because she probably thinks she's the only one. And then she goes, 700? You fucking dirtbag. She went from, we could reconnect and be the real family I could have always wanted. And what the fuck? Brutal. But man, what a player. Now, they haven't named this guy, but I'm pretty sure he has died from high fives. Or this guy also is still alive, but has one of the strongest forearms you've ever seen. He's very unbalanced. He's like, what's that? Quagmire. He's like Quagmire in Family Guy when he discovers porn on the internet for the first time. He just disappears, and he just disappears for weeks, comes back with red eyes and a fucking jacked. He's got one jacked forearm. I just thought that was an absolute pisser. And I got another one for you. That, in the AI realm, that's fucking ridiculous. So, oh my God. How fucking annoying are ads on mobiles? Go away. Fuck off. I don't want to see your fucking ad, bro. God damn it. It's like they know advertisers push the fucking limits sometimes on advertising space. Like you open an ad in your fucking mobile browser, and they will literally take up the top third and the bottom third of the screen, leaving you with like fuck all to read the screen from. Like, are you really that how desperate for money are you to ruin the user experience like this to make money? Like, are you in service to the customer, or are you in service to the corporation when you ruin the customer's experience, the customer's browsing experience like that, right? Like, it's fucking frustrating, man. And when I click off the ad, send feedback, not interested. Okay, I take it away. Thanks. Ad closed by. Okay, I gave it feedback to get this thing off my fucking screen. It's taken up a quarter of my screen, and it still hasn't taken the fucking ad off the screen. God damn it. Fuck this shit, man. This is why everyone wants to become just fucking recluses and stay off the internet, because everyone is trying to bombard you with ads and information and consume me, please. For the money, I need the money. Anyway. From the dickheads at Gizmodo, this article. Zoom CEO wants an AI avatar to do your job while you're at the beach. The CEO of Zoom, the CEO of Zoom says an AI clone will one day take your video calls, send emails, and do nearly every part of your job that happens on a computer. And that is fucking wrong. So, Zoom CEO Eric Yuan told The Verge that AI avatars will one day do your job on your behalf. According to Yuan, the avatar will speak in on your Zoom meetings for you, answer emails, and take phone calls, supposedly freeing you up for the rest of your life. Right? He goes, this is how out of touch this fucking dickhead is. Right? He goes, in the quote, "Today for this session, ideally, I do not need to join. I can send a digital version of myself to join so I can go to the beach. Or I do not need to check my emails. The digital version of myself can read most of the emails. Maybe 1 or 2 emails will tell me, Eric, it's hard for the digital version to reply. Can you do that? Again, today we can all spend a lot of time either making phone calls, joining meetings, sending emails, deleting some spam emails, and replying to some text messages, still very busy. How do we leverage AI? How do we leverage Zoom Workplace to fully automate that kind of work? That is something that is very important to us." Right? So here's why this is fucking wrong. Is that, like, people don't want to deal with AI. If you send me an AI version of you to work with because you're at the beach, go fuck yourself, mate. Go fuck yourself. If you can't give me a person the right and your presence, if you cannot grace someone with your presence while working with them, then what the fuck are you even doing, right? You may as well just have everything asynchronous. Send a video message. Hey, I'm busy right now. Let me back to you later. Or you do like you send Loom videos and go back and forth. It is fucking this. People, there is this increasing like distaste towards digitization. We are de-digitizing ourselves to a degree. I've talked about this before. We are all going to, not all going to, but there's a trend of people going analog, putting their fucking feet in the earth, getting away from devices. Sure, leveraging digital tools to create efficiencies in our lives, but realistically, we are craving human experiences more than ever. So, when you try and fucking bullshit me with an AI version of yourself, and I'm trying to create a genuine relationship with you here, and you can't even, and we want to have an authentic human connection, go fuck yourself with your AI version of you. I mean, this guy was literally telling this person who's being interviewed, ideally, I don't want to be interviewed by you right now. I would love to send an AI version of myself to interview me instead. What a dick. Who the fuck says that? Ideally, I would have someone else in my place to take over this spot of interviewing. Now, that sounds racist because it's Eric Yuan, but I got Chinese blood in me, baby, so I got that yellow card. And you can't really see this, but there's you can tell this guy doesn't mind being fake because this guy, Eric Yuan, Asian dude, probably in his late 50s, early 60s, still has absolute jet black hair. Not a single gray, not a single sense of salt and pepper on this motherfucker. I'm zooming in on the photo just to check. Oh, he's got some, but it's just like way too dark, right? For what this guy is. I don't know. Look, sure, I shouldn't be using hair dye as a means of judging this dude, but this is so far off the mark when it comes to the reality of what AI will be used for and what will be accepted for by society, in my opinion. This is also coming from the guy that is one of the leaders in hybrid work technology, Zoom, who then also, Zoom, the same company, ordered their people back into the office. And you're like, you sell hybrid work for a living. Your core message is to work from anywhere and collaborate with anyone, and you can't even live those principles in your own business. You are a fucking fraud, mate. You are a fucking fraud. Okay? So this guy just does not get it, right? And look, for the good part, he's like, you still need to have the in-person interaction. It's very important. Yes, you still, and I agree. He says that's important. I absolutely agree with him. But man, like, it's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen like that at all. Like, I was in a meeting the other day, a virtual meeting. It was like one of the digital mentorships for my business coaching, and people would get, there was more AI chatbots in there than there was people. It was more fireflies and otters, because that's the name of the two products, standing in for people than there was genuine people in the fucking meeting, in the one-on-one, because it was like at a weird time. And that sort of stuff is a sign of the times, right? Is this digital minutia and digital delay. And honestly, like, the more it really is about your personal traits and abilities to get shit done that's more valuable than the tools. It is you as the orchestrator, your mental capacity to adapt, integrate, connect technologies together, be that orchestrator of technology and solutions that will create value, and that's where your moat is in the future. That is the future of technology and the future of mastery, right? You still want to be a human being leveraging these tools, no matter how powerful they get, in your favor, right? There's a great quote that I had saved from the game Civilization, and I will talk about more in AI. But I think it's what is it? Fuck, I've got so much fucking stuff here. But let me try and do it off the top of my head. It's civilization advances by the number of operations it can perform without thinking, right? And that is what AI is in a nutshell. Right there, is that we have such critical, valuable, functional, logical thinking space, right? Our logical thinking brain is less than a third of our full brain. We are 2/3 feeling, 1/3 logical. That's our prefrontal cortex. So that is like the RAM of our minds. RAM in a laptop is what you can, is how many applications can you run, how many tabs can you have open at once before the computer starts to slow down. So that is very small compared to the rest of the computer. So we need to protect that at all costs. But we have outsourced that precious thinking now to AI, which is one of our most valuable resources, and it's going to completely fuck us. And I'm going to do a deep dive on this because it is part of the stuff that I'm writing and will publish when it comes to Tech Sales Academy in the next couple of weeks. So, keep an eye out for that. I don't want to get too into it now because I still need to wrangle my thoughts, make that a little bit more cohesive and get it out to the world, because I think it will change some minds. But on that note, folks, I'm going to leave it there because I actually went a little longer than I thought I would. Bit of fun. I got to find more articles like this and just fucking tee off and rant. So have a good time. And hopefully you do, guys. Hopefully you guys do too. There you go. I'm running out of fucking brain. All right, folks. You know where to find me, at Jamil J. Raymond on the socials, techsales.academy. Check it out. Love you all. See you next week. Bye for now.